Thank you po Sir Dave for all of this prize item po, lalong-lalo na po sa book na ito. And thank you for your effort po in guiding us mula simula hanggang last chapter ng book na ito. Special thanks for this one po. It is very entertaining, nakakatawa, at the same time may mga life lessons na makukuha. Thank you sir, God bless you, and more blessings to come. So guys, subscribe now in Sir Dave's Classroom YouTube channel wherein discussion are explained in detail, and don't forget to join our FB group, Sir Dave's Classroom, and be a part of our growing accounting family.
Requirement number 2. Yum purchases a 1/3 interest in the firm. Yum pays the partners 315,000, which is to be divided between them in proportion to the equities given up ulit, tulad kanina. Before Yum's admission, however, inventory undervaluation is recorded on the firm books. So again, this is admission by purchase principles. This means that the outlay of the incoming partner does not become a part of the total capital, tulad ng ilang beses na natin sinabi. In this case, the capital moved or increased not because of cash payment but because of the revaluation in asset. May undervaluation daw which must be updated. So pag under, kailangan dagdagan, magi-increase yung capital balances nung mga old partners before the admission of the incoming partner. So, 315,000 divided by 1/3, yung 945, yun yung deemed total capital after the adjustment. 630 lang yan before any adjustment. Tama ba? 630 tulad kanina. Yes, 630 also. Correct naman yung ating na-input na data. So, 315,000 should be the undervaluation. Ibig sabihin, yan yung difference between the adjusted and the unadjusted total. 315 would be divided by the two partners according to their profit and loss ratio, which is 3:1. Their adjusted capital balances, 656,250. 288,750 would then be diminished by 1/3 to be given to Yum. So ito yung makukuha ni Yum. Ito naman yung mga matitira dun sa capital balances nung dalawa. So for the revaluation, the increase would be divided as follows between Dave and Dan. This is the journal entry. Debit inventory, 315,000. Credit Dave capital, 236,250. Inventory nga ba to? Just like nung kanina. And Dan, 78,750. For the transfer of the capital balance, this is 218,750 coming from Dave. So yun yung mawawala sa kanya. And 96,250 from Dan. Credit Yum, 315,000. So sabi natin dito, using the investment of Yum as the basis for evaluation, etc. Alam na natin how this works. Next. Procedures in determining goodwill and bonus. In responding to the succeeding requirements, the following are the procedures in determining the existence and ownership of goodwill and bonus upon the admission of a new partner by investments. So class, itong nakasulat dito sa letter A and letter B, these are just the more formal ways on how you can arrive at the goodwill and bonus. However, since we are over already with Chapter 1, parang ito lang yung formal way of telling Chapter 1 using our accessidip technique, kung naaalala mo pa. In essence, ito din yung sinasabi nung ating technique na yon. So let's just get over this. Just in passing, for letter A, compare the total agreed capital of the new partnership and the total contributed capital. If the total agreed capital is equal to the total contributed capital, then there is no goodwill. If the total agreed capital exceeds the total contributed capital, the difference is the amount of goodwill. Tama? Nai-imagine mo pa ba yung format natin? Okay. Accessidip. Then dun sa AC, sinusulat natin yung mga investments, okay, which is usually represented by the adjusted capital balances of the partners. Okay. Number 3, if the total agreed capital is less than, so sinasabi dito, comparison lang ito ng total agreed capital tsaka nung total contributed capital. So kung parehas yung dalawang yon, edi 0 yung pupwesto dun sa place ng goodwill. So 0 goodwill yon. Pagka naman mas malaki yung total agreed kesa sa contributed, then there is a goodwill. Alright? Ngayon yun. Letter B. Compare the agreed capital credit of the incoming partner to his actual contribution. Ito nga talaga yon. Number 1, if the agreed capital credit to the incoming partner is equal to his actual capital contribution, there is no bonus. Ibig sabihin, walang mapupunta sa kanya. Wala din siyang tatanggapin. Okay? He will not get hurt and he will not also be happy because the old partners will get hurt. Ibig sabihin nun, masasaktan sila kasi mababawasan yung kanilang capital interest at mapupunta sa kanya. Wala daw ganon. Number 2, if there is a goodwill, this will be credited to the old partner's capital accounts. Number 3, if the agreed capital credit to the incoming partner exceeds his actual contribution, the excess is either his share in the goodwill, correct, if there is, or a bonus from the old partner if there is no goodwill. So kung mas malaki yung natanggap niyang karapatan compared dun sa ibinigay niyang contribution, then the difference is either taken out from the old partners, in that case, that is bonus, or if it is not taken out from the old partners, in that case, that will be his share in the goodwill, which is the difference between the total agreed and the total contributed. Okay? Number 4, if the agreed capital credit to the incoming partner is less than his actual capital contribution, ibig sabihin doon, siya yung nasaktan. And therefore, napunta doon sa old partners. That is bonus to the old partners. The foregoing procedures apply only after all tangible assets have been properly adjusted. So, pangatlo dun sa ating 10 requirements for the comprehensive illustration, requirement number 3. Yam invests the amount needed to give him 1/3 pa rin interest in the capital of the partnership. No goodwill or bonus is to be recorded. Take note of the wording. Binold natin dito. Invest. So we will now be utilizing investment principles. Solution. Implied in the requirement is the net investment method since there is no bonus or goodwill to be recognized. Really? Check nga natin. Ang investment ni Dave, yung kanyang adjusted capital balance, which is 420 as given in the problem. Sa number 3, may adjustment ba na magaganap? Let's check. Si partner Dan naman, 210. And Yam invest the amount, hindi ini-specify, enough to give him 1/3 interest. So, ibig sabihin yan, class, if the investment in the form of their capital balances that Dave and Dan will give 410, 210, 630 represents 2/3 necessarily, since Yam's investment represents 1/3, ibig sabihin nun 2/3 talaga yung kay Dave tsaka kay Dan. So 630 divided by its own percentage brings you back to the 100%. So the total must be 945,000 times 1/3, 315. So kung 315 yan, yun yung investment ni Yam dito, sana nagigets mo. Then the total of this one should be 945,000. So makikita mo, yung capital credits ng bawat partner ay same dun sa kanilang capital contribution. So walang nasaktan at walang nasiyahan dahil may nasaktan. The total agreed capital and the contributed capital is exactly the same. Then there is no bonus, no goodwill. Impliedly, correct yung sabi ng ating solution. You are using the net investment method. Debit cash, credit Yam capital. Now notice that the cash is debited here, meaning to say the cash that Yam paid or invests, yun ang correct term, enters the partnership books, 315,000. We have learned in Chapter 2 that under the net investment method, the total contributed capital and the total agreed capital must be equal, and therefore no goodwill is possible, and no capital transfer also occurs. If what Yam will invest represents 1/3, then necessarily yung dalawa 2/3. Kaya dinivide natin sila by their own percentage, which is 2/3. Okay? By their own proportion or ratio. Take note also that this is admission by investment, which means that the outlay of the incoming partner is received by the partnership. Correct yan. Thus, the debit to cash. Requirement number 4. Yam invest 315,000. Binanggit na this time kung magkano yung investment ni incoming partner, not unlike in requirement number 3. For a 1/2 naman interest in the firm, no goodwill is to be recorded. Okay? So knowing the investment of partner Yam, incoming partner Yam, and ang sabi 1/2, so kung 1/2 siya, necessarily 1/2 din yung sa iba. Yung combined Dave at Dan ay 1/2. Kung 315 ang bigay niya dahil given na sa problem, 420 and 250 naman yung dalawa, then 945 ang total. Given that there is no goodwill, necessarily 0 ito. So ang mahalaga dito sa ginagawa natin, particularly dito sa number 4, una, syempre, yung konsepto. Pangalawa, yung proseso, yung step-by-step process na ginagawa natin para matandaan mo, pag natandaan mo to, maia-apply mo din siya dun sa similar problems. Okay? So, ano muna una mong gagawin? Fill up mo yung mga investments. That is the first step. Syempre, makukuha mo yung total. Sabi sa problem, no goodwill. Take note mo yung sequencing, ha? Okay? So, 0. So, kung 0 ito, 945 yun. Necessarily, 945 din. Ito, para 0 yung difference nila. Okay? 945 times 1/2, 472,500 tayo dito. Then, yung remaining doon will be for Dave and Dan. So, assuming di mo pa alam na 301,875 yan at 176,25 yan. So, hanggang dito ka pa lang sa 945 tsaka 472,500. Susunod, 472,500 minus 315, then you get your 157,500. Are you following? 157,500 natin dito. Okay? Since 0 ito, okay, wala nang mangyayari, hindi nagagalaw ito. Subalit 157,500 yon, naturalmente, common sense will dictate na yung 157,500 dito paghahatian ng dalawa. Okay? Using their old profit and loss ratio. So, could you please check that out? Tama ba? 157,500, 3:1 kasi silang dalawa eh. So, times 3/4, correct, 118,125. And 39,375. So, combining that with 420, you will arrive at 301,875 and 170,625. So, all of this, we have completed by the use of common sense at saka yung understanding natin sa sequencing on how to fill up our axis-deep technique. Nagigets mo ba yon? In-enter mo yung investments, na-determine na 0 ito, so 945 din yon. Minultiply mo ng 1/2, nakuha mo to, meron ka na nito, so 157, 0 na to, hindi nagagalaw yan. So this one follows, and so therefore this one also would be known. Una, debit cash, credit Yam capital for the amount that has been paid and received by the partnership. Debit Dave capital, Dan capital, and Yam capital, 118,125 and 39,375 respectively. And credit Yam capital for 157. Okay? So sa makatuwid, yung kay Dave at kay Dan ay nabawasan at yung nabawas sa kanila ang idinagdag naman kay Yam. Or pwede mong pagsamahin ito into a compound entry as follows. So effectively class, bonus method ang ginamit kasi walang goodwill, may nasaktan yung dalawang old partners, may nasiyahan yung new partner natin, si partner Yam. So these are the computations. You can check that out for yourself. This is the essence of requirement number 4. Meron pala tayong nilagay na sequencing dito sa baba class. Okay? So you can check that out dito sa ating libro. Sabi ko sa'yo, okay yung book natin eh. Okay na okay. So while you're holding the book and your Sir Dave guiding you through our YouTube discussion, there's no reason kung bakit hindi mo maiintindihan yung partnership accounting mo. May sequencing pa pala tayong nilagay dito. Yan yung number 1 mong isusulat. Ito yung number 2, number 3, okay? Number 4. Anong kasunod? Number 5, 6. Then 6 minus 3, ayun, number 7. Yan yung ating sequencing class. So hopefully you get a copy of our book para tulad ng sabi natin, habang hawak-hawak mo yung libro mo, nakikinig ka dito sa ating discussion. maganda yung ating learning process. Okay. That was your requirement number 4. Ayos. Ang ganda naman ng pagkakasunod-sunod natin dito sa discussion, dito sa libro mismo. Requirement number 5. YAM, again, invest 262,500 for 1/4 naman this time interest in the firm. The total firm capital is to be 892,500. Yan yung mga conditions eh. So, hahanapan natin siya ng way on how we're going to comply with all of these conditions. So, 420, 210, binigay yung 262,500. 262,500. So, totaling these 3, it would give you 892,500. Ano pang sabi? 892,500 din daw dapat yung total agreed capital. So, given 892. So, 892, natural, 0 yan. Okay? So, kung duda ka, calculatorin mo. Very good, 0. Ayan. Ganun tayong mga accountant eh. Professional skepticism, tulad ng sabi sa atin. Well, magulat ka na lang kung hindi 0 ang lumabas dyan. Naku, napakalaking problema nun. Alright? Normal lang yan, class. Pero, don't let that slow you down. Alright? Basta yung preparation mo laging nandyan. Hindi maiiwasan yan. Sa board exam, sa sobrang kaba mo, tulad ng sabi natin, pati 5+2, baka calculatorin mo yan. Okay, well anyway, sinabi dito, 0. Alright? Next procedure, 892,500 times, ilan ba gusto niya? 1/4. So, 1/4. 892,500 times 1/4, 223,125. Okay? 223,125 less 262,500. Take note of our sequencing, class. 39,375. Aba, this time siya yung nasakan. Biruin mo. 262,500 ang binigay mo. Ang binigay lang sa'yo, 223,125. Lesser amount. Masakit, sabi niya. Okay? Since 0 itong nasa baba, hindi na ito gagalaw. 39,375 yung nasa taas. Ibig sabihin, paghahatian nung dalawa. Alright? So, 39,375 times the old profit and loss ratio of Dave and Dan. 29,531.25 goes to Dave. And 9,843.75 goes to Dan. Accordingly po, pwede mong i-add ito, tsaka yan, to come up with this. Ito, at tsaka yan, to come up with this. Then, kumpleto mo na yung ating solution format. Effectively, class, hindi sinabi na bonus method ang gagamitin mo. The problem did not in any way say, okay? It did not tell you explicitly to use the bonus method. But you need to learn to read between the lines. Kahit hindi sinabi effectively, ganun yung nangyari. Bonus method. Bakit? There is no goodwill. May nasaktan, may nasiyahan. Bonus method ang nangyari. These are your computations for requirement number 5. Alright? Your journal entry, debit cash, 262,500. Tulad ng binigay dito. Credit YAM capital, 223,125. Yung mga capital credits nila under the AC or the agreed capital columns. And 29,531.25 for, yung dagdag dun kay Dave, dagdag dun sa 420. Ganito din for Dan, 9,843.75. Okay? Okay. So sabi natin dito, just like in the previous requirement where the bonus method was implied, the total agreed capital in this case is given to be 892,500, which incidentally is also the total contributed capital. Alright? Naglagay ba tayo ng sequencing dito? Hindi na tayo naglagay sequencing. Doon sa ating discussion kanina, ganun yung ating correct sequencing. Okay, tuloy na nga natin basahin ito. Again, having a 0 difference between the total agreed and the total contributed means no goodwill. Bonus method na. Or the net investment method na lang ang possible dyan. So, ang kinalabasan, hindi po pwedeng net investment method kasi may nasaktan, may nasiyahan eh. The following the same order of computation in requirement number 4, as explained in detail, we see that this time the capital credit for YAM is lesser than what she actually paid or contributed. The difference is therefore a bonus kasi yung masakit niya, yun ang ikinasiya nung dalawa.